Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, this June the 24th, 2025 daily cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, gold and silver bullion video that you've come to expect, love, need, and deserve from the retail trader channel that's there for the retail trader and investor exclusively and specifically. And the reason this channel was created is simple and as cheap as $3.99 a month to start, to support the channel, to keep these videos coming, and to learn and understand and get the education, truth, trust, and information you need to become asset millionaires via real estate, gold and silver bullion, stocks, cryptocurrency, steady investing in 401k, and as always, cash earning interest, short-term interest of 3 to 5%, right? So you can accumulate new bags, have money to fix things that you need to fix, or emergencies, and or buy new assets, right? It's very important to be well diversified, and that's what old Vincenzo is doing. And we're on our way to becoming an asset millionaire, although that doesn't mean what it used to about a quarter century ago, but nonetheless, you'll be at least have some peace of mind and a decent standard of living if you are an asset millionaire, right? You won't be living paycheck to paycheck. But there's very important news that's going on this week. And that's the reason. Video description or pinned comment to become members of Jabroni Killers. But there's a lot of news going on this week with the ceasefire, not ceasefire, Donald Trump saying Iran and Israel don't know what a ceasefire is today. He's not happy right now after yesterday saying that it was the 12-day war and it was over and the war could have went on for decades needlessly. And now today he's not happy because this is textbook manipulation with the stocks. By yesterday, the news coming out, oil got hit extremely hard, very, very hard. It went down about 8% yesterday. And you can see over the last 48 hours, oil on that news is down 16.56%, all in a day and a half, off that news that says the ceasefire is over, right? So it had the overrun on the news. The dollar tanked off the news. The 10-year government bonds are at a 7-week low off the news. Gold finally had a retracement off the news of 1.59% and falling today, but oil down 4% today and falling fast on the manipulated news. Platinum is still up today. Palladium's a little bit down. But the news manipulates the price. And that was one of the catalysts that had Bitcoin at a textbook area where it bounced off of. You can see this rising channel that we've been in ever since the COVID low, right? When that bear market ended, or the mountain double top started. Yeah, the COVID, where we bottomed out down there in 2022 going into 2023. You can see where that news hit, which was perfect timing because the chart was coming onto us area where it would try to bounce just above that 97, just above that uptrending rising channel support. And then the news came out and it catapulted the price. And now what you're going to see in the Bitcoin price is you're going to have a decision point. We're either going to break down out of this rising channel, right? Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out farther, and then we'll zoom in. Okay, we'll zoom out. We'll start from far out, and then we'll zoom in, right? Make this super simple and easy. But you can see since we've been in this channel since 2022, where we started and really dug out a bottom right here between early July and the beginning of 2023, we had that rounding bottom and started in this channel, attempted to break down a fake out here in October of 2023, hit major support in 2024, had a fake out at the beginning of 2025, bounced back into it. Now we're back down right there, and we have a decision point, and we were going to threaten to break out. But just as we're about to have to make that decision, that orchestrated news comes in, and it helps bounce the price. It helps bounce the price up. So now what you're going to get is you're either going to start to die out. You're at the 50-day moving average. You're either going to start to trade up and sideways and then start to lose momentum and trade down back onto this uptrending and eventually out of it onto this 97,000 critical support and then start to trade down. Or you're going to just gather support here, trade for a few days, maybe a week, and then end up trading up and come up near this $147,000, right? So this is going to be a big breakdown. going with what we think's actually going on right here, where we're in this double topping formation and we're going to end up coming back down in the short term to the 74,000 and change before potentially much lower lows. Or this is just going to continue breaking off. There is going to be no sizable correction until we get up near, say, the 147,000 and change, and being the real blow off top. And then you'll have a 75% textbook correction, because then from there, you'd only get down to $50,000, right? And right around the 57,000, right? And that would be your big correction if that was to happen. But this is very, very critical, and this is very interesting on what's actually going on right now in the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology sphere. If we go look at over here, Bitcoin dominance just hit a fresh cycle high before it started coming down the other day. You can see Bitcoin dominance, if we go into the weekly, hit a COVID high. Since 2020, it hasn't been that high. You can see it's been on a very, very big run. And we're coming up to a major area of major upper resistance for Bitcoin dominance. Up there at about the, oops, who cares? We don't need that. Up there at about the 74.36% dominance. We're running into this overhead resistance, but people have been just piling into Bitcoin as it's the perceived safe haven. You can see the Ethereum price had a big run up. Then it came down the last 48 hours and actually got below the moving averages in the daily. And you can see where you're at now. And you do know the moving averages in the daily, if you're going to come down, if you're below these three major moving averages, your major area and your likely area that you're going to come to because you're bearish is down here at majors underneath support at the 1869, as long as you're below these three moving averages. If you get above these, you're bullish, and you can come up here to the 33,058.75 and change, right? And right now you're trying to get back above them. If we zoom in now, you can see you're in between. You're just below the 200, but you're just above the 100, and you're pumping right now. So this is what we're looking at. If you can get above in the daily time frame, this critical 2469, then you're bullish and you can skyrocket back up to some regional highs. But if you get rejected here, you obviously where you're underneath support is, but right now you're right in the thick of these moving averages, trying to flip these from major resistance short term to major short term support again. So we're going to continue to watch to see how this goes, because it's going to be hyper volatile the next several days as this price is trying to figure out if it's going to continue to pump or if it's going to continue to dump. You can see we had a nice run up with the XLM price, something that we were talking about the last 48 hours after it broke below. We have to come back up and have a major retest. Is this going to come up and have this hook nose bearish reversal pattern and get rejected at the 25 cents in the XLM price? Or is this going to get on top of and not confirm it as a flip, but confirm it as still support and get back on top and start to trade back to the upside in the short term, right? That's a critical thing that we have to watch out as the rest of this week progresses to see what actually happens, because it's going to have a catastrophic effect on the short-term price action. It'll either flush down to this 18-cent level. If it confirms a rejection, it confirms at 25 cents as major resistance. If it confirms the flip that is resistance, it'll come down to that 18.5 underneath green line very, very quickly. But if it gets back on top of it and actually confirms it still has support, it could run all the way up to the 33 cents very, very quickly again. So that's what we're looking at there in the XLM. The XRP is the same thing, but you can see the XRP actually came all the way up yesterday. It was sitting down here yesterday and actually shot all the way up another 11%. Got back on top of something that we're going to see if the XLM price is going to do. Got back on this neckline support. And if this keeps trading up and you breach these moving averages, that's how you can keep trading and potentially even make a run back up to the $2.55 level, right? If this keeps trading up and holds the support. Now, if this loses this support and starts to trade back towards the neckline and gets back below it and actually does confirm this as resistance, that's when you get extremely bearish. And that would be something that we have to watch out for. But this did have a nice recovery and it got significantly above the moving average or the neckline support, but we're just below the two moving averages, the 50 and the 100 that are on top of each other in the daily. And that's going to be your short-term resistance now. And you need to get on top of those to fly to the upside, or you're going to get resisted and you're going to come quickly back to the 209 neckline support. But that's something that you should pay attention to, see if XLM follows suit. Does this shoot back up into this area just like the XRP price did? Like the channel. We're going to stay on top of this for you. We'll give you a nice update later on this evening. Peace and love. Direct Eyebrow. J.